many of you have ever fundraised? You know, sometimes when I go to conventions and things, there's always a workshop called fundraising, without the D, trying to get you to think that fundraising is fun, yay, let's go out and raise some money. But I am like many of the artists I know, it's my least favorite thing in the world to sit down to lunch with a powerful person and ask them for money. I'm very uncomfortable with it, I don't like it at all, but it's necessary for me to keep things alive. A couple, maybe 5 months ago, I wrote some blogs for Americans for the Arts about how to make arts matter in the business world, how to create partnerships with arts and business. And putting them into practice is very interesting. I offer workshops to take into businesses. I have all sorts of ways to relate the arts to business. Teamwork, team building projects. I do a whole workshop on team building where I come into a business and I basically make them into some sort of small-scale choir. If they can't sing, which many times they cannot, I make them into some sort of small-scale rhythmic groups. I'll divide them up into four and make them clap and snap and do things together. And then they realize that their part by itself is really boring, but then you add it to that part, and there's some interest, and then you add it to this third part, there's more interest, there's layers, and this part can't really survive without this part. And it kind of impresses upon them the importance of teamwork in a very abstract, artistic way. This is remarkably popular, but yet unpopular. The people that do the workshop have fun, but I think they probably walk right out of the workshop and forget everything we've done and go back to their emails and their blinders. It's like the first year I did high holiday services at Rosh Hashanah services. The rabbi did a sermon about derech eretz, which is common decency, and we talked a lot about being kind to your fellow man. And then the service was over, and we were all trying to get out of the synagogue and out of the parking lot, and there was no derech eretz happening. It was just every man for himself. Let's get out quick. The same thing kind of happens when I do these things for businesses. Is that there's it's fun. Let's all get together and clap or sing or do Steve Reich patterns. But what does it really mean? But you can take those philosophical ideas from the arts and approach businesses with them. They might not buy into it, but approaching businesses like that and approaching them with what can the arts do for you, rather than what can you guys do for the arts. Most often when we're trying to raise money, we walk in with our CDs, our brochures, our videos, our demographics, everything we have, and we say, we're great, give us money. What we never say is, hey, we're great, and here's how you can be great because we're great. Here's what I can do for you. Businesses often need professional development opportunities, so they give you a tax-deductible contribution, and you come out twice a year to offer them a brown bag lunch and concert, or you offer them music during one of their cocktail parties, or you offer them professional development classes that are based in the arts. So you need to come in to any kind of fundraising pitch, particularly to a business that is wanting to give to the arts but not necessarily valuing the arts, if that makes sense. I remember at this same conference there was the Memphis Arts, I guess the Memphis Arts Council works very closely with a large company there, so the guy from the company was there and the Memphis Art Council person was there, and this guy from the company didn't care about the arts really at all. He cared about the arts as a vehicle for attracting employees. So he wanted to make Memphis a really great place to live so that he could attract the right employees to come work for him. So the arts in and of themselves were not important to him at all. But what Memphis did very successfully was market to him why the arts are important as a whole for his company. So the arts really aren't making him any money necessarily, but they are allowing him to attract the kind of people he wants to attract and say, look at Memphis. Memphis is great because we have all this stuff. The same thing applies to any town you live in. You walk in and you say, this is why the arts are important. They're important just because they're the arts. That's the philosophical thing. That's the truth. But businesses need pie graphs. They need umbrellas. They need things to hold on to. And one of the things they can hold on to is we improve your quality of life. And when you have good quality of life in a town, you're going to be able to get the kind of employees in town that you need. So when you ask for money, when you go out to fundraise, be sure to couch your request within the larger scale of what the arts can do for that person or that business. It's different than writing a grant. when you're writing a grant, you are making the case for why your art is important just as it's art. But when you're asking for corporate sponsorships, you need to make a case for how art affects that corporation. It might seem like you're selling it out, but you really aren't. You're helping it survive, and you're also giving the arts a leg up in a world that is so concerned with the bottom line and with numbers. And so it's a win-win as far as I can tell.